Yes, sir, you are.
Thank you so much. So, hi everyone, very good evening to each and every one of you. So, my name is Merasalam Ansari. I am a civil engineer by profession and currently working as a BIM engineer and researcher. Apart from that, I am also a freelancer BIM educator and software instructor. I help students and new graduates to start their career in BIM. Let me just share my screen first and then I'll start talking with you all guys. It's visible to each and every one of you, right? I think, yes. Okay. So my name is Merasalam Ansari. I'm a civil engineer by profession. And as I told you, I'm a BIM engineer and researcher, currently working as a BIM engineer researcher. And apart from that, I'm also a freelance educator and software instructor. I help students to start their career in BIM and help them to get educated regarding BIM and new technologies which is coming in the AEC industry. So I welcome you all to in this particular session. So what we are going to talk in this particular session, it's all about career in BIM, that why, how, and where there is a usage of BIM is there. Okay, so the complete particular session, today's session is all about why you should choose BIM, what exactly BIM is, where there is a usage of BIM, and why as a student there is a requirement of learning BIM and starting your career in BIM. So we'll be talking about all those things in this particular session. So what I am expecting today is that the students are pre-final year students, final year students, or even they can be graduates or someone who have started their career already in construction industry, but they want to do a transition from whatever they are doing to BIM. So all the doubts will be cleared in this particular session. So what I will request from all of you guys to be a little focused. Why? Because this particular session is of 1 hour, and as we have less time and a lot of things to cover, and probably we will have a lot of question from your side as well. So just be focused so that we can take as much as we can. Okay. So Q&A will be there at the end of this particular session. Question and answer session will be there at the end of this particular session. Whatever question you have, just write it down. If you have any question, just write it down. And whatever doubt regarding your career in college, in BIM, how you should learn BIM, why you should learn BIM, what are the different steps that you should pursue to start your career in BIM. So whatever question you have in your mind, just write it down so that at the end of this session, we will take all those questions and I'll answer all those questions of yours. So, okay, let's start from the very first point. So let's face the reality. Like we know that you should have known that if you are in college, if you have just graduated, that civil engineering students just think that civil engineering is all about the sand, cement, and aggregate. So what they think that after doing the engineering, after doing their bachelor's, they will be working somewhere around sand, cement, aggregate. It's somewhere true, but it's not completely true. You should also know the front end and the back end which is happening on the industry. So that is why there is a problem in this engineering student, that they are like degrading, their overall performance is degrading. Why? Because they are just following the herd and they are just following the conventional process. Like previously like everyone used to tell them like site engineering is the only option after doing the civil engineering, but that is not true, right? So you should be you should understand that in the next 5 to 10 years everything is going to be digital. Digital means for example, you know that before 5 years, when for example, I'll ask about myself, if I'll tell about myself, like before 5 years to 7 years, like people were not talking about the IT industry. But after that particular era, it started booming. Why? Because there is a usage, there is a requirement of digital industry in this particular era. So at this particular moment, there is also a requirement of digitalization in the civil engineering industry as well. That's why I'm telling, in the next 5 to 10 years, everything is going to be digital. So we need to evolve. If we want to grow, if we want to learn things, if we want to grasp things, if we want to earn money, if we want to earn a good salary, then we have to do a transition from the conventional thing to a digital thing. So just keep this thing in your mind whenever you are doing, whenever choosing a career, even if you are a diploma holder, even if you are a mechanical engineer or a civil engineer or an architect, you should keep this in mind that you have to do a transition. Why? Because if you are not doing at this particular moment, then after 5 to 10 years, definitely you are going to do a transition from whatever you are doing, a site engineering, you are doing whatever thing you are doing, you have to shift into this particular thing. So you just have to keep that particular thing in your mind. Just a minute. Yep. Okay. So I'll give you an example of this. That before 7 to 10 years, I would say, before 7 to 10 years, there was a very small information about BIM was there, and at that particular moment, people were started learning BIM. There was around 5 to 7% people, 5 to 10% people were there who started learning BIM. But at that moment, the architect and engineers were telling like this is of no usage, like the BIM is useless. At that particular moment, people were telling. But now after 5 years, 10 years, people have started knowing the exact worth of learning BIM. Why? Because if they will not learn BIM, if they will not learn BIM to be digitalization, to be digital, then they won't be able to survive in the market. you know so why to regret later if you know already that you will be able to grasp all those things and you will be able to grow yourself in the next 5 to 10 years. So it's always better to start your career. Okay. So next thing, let's understand from all those basic things. It's like what are the different types of jobs which are there. Like field job also there, office job or also there. So whenever I generally tell students about the job, so let me know if you all are comfortable in English. Just let me know. Then I'll use Hindi as well if you want. Just let me know if you all want in English or Hindi as well. I'll use bilingual. It's completely fine. Our main agenda is to let you know the exact worth of BIM. Otherwise, there will be no usage. So you can let me know. Right? English. Okay, I'll use Hindi as well in between. Okay. So basically क्या है कि जब भी मैं जॉब के बारे में बताता हूँ सिविल इंजीनियरिंग में, तो वो फील्ड जॉब भी होता है, वो ऑफिस जॉब भी होता है, राइट? सो फील्ड जॉब और ऑफिस जॉब के बारे में डिवाइड कर देता हूँ दो पार्ट में. जैसे मान के चलो फील्ड जॉब है तो दैट कैन बी ऑफ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ थिंग. ऑफिस जॉब है, देयर कैन बी अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ ऑफिस जॉब एज वेल. But in majorly, like major terms, if I say, like there are site engineer, QA QC engineer and safety engineer, because 90% of people who are willing to start their career in field job in civil engineering, they are preferring site engineering job. QA QC means quality assurance or quality control, or even a safety engineer, something like that. And there is another domain which I just said is office job. Office job can be you can be a BIM engineer, you can be a planning engineer, you can be a designer, architectural designer, structural designer, interior designer, facade designer. When you compare between the site engineering job and office job, there will be a lot of a lot of changes, a lot of differences there whenever you're talking about office job and site job. So in general, if you decide what you have to do, whether a field job or an office job, there are few points that you take into consideration to compare all those things. It can be work life balance, अच्छी सैलरी हो सकती है, अच्छा करियर ग्रोथ हो सकता है. इट कैन बी लर्निंग हायर स्टडीज, कि आप जो भी फील्ड जॉब कर रहे हो, वेदर यू आर डूइंग ए क्वालिटी कंट्रोल और क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस जॉब, तो उसके अंदर में आप क्या हायर ग्रोथ कर सकते हो, मतलब हायर स्टडीज के लिए जा सकते हो, नहीं जा सकते हो. अगर आप स्ट्रक्चरल इंजीनियर हो तो आप स्ट्रक्चरल इंजीनियरिंग के लिए आप अपनी मास्टर्स कर सकते हो क्या, या फिर PhD कर सकते हो क्या. So whenever you are talking about the jobs, you should also consider all these points into you should take all these points into account, that whether all those jobs are having these particular thing or not. So with studies and with facts, it is proven that in field job you will have lesser work life balance. Work life balance means that you are going to work on the site for around 12 to 14 hours, and after coming from your job, you are not going to have your personal life. So that is something, work-life balance. So in field job you are having very less work-life balance. Good salary, no. It is completely true that if you are going to work as a site engineer after doing your graduation, if you are from tier 2 tier 3 college, then the salary will be around, it's
Hello.
very, let me be very honest. Yes, someone is asking something. Okay, please mute yourself. If you have any questions, just ask at the end of the session, so that we should not be disturbed in between, because the continuity will not be that much good if you will disturb in between, right? So what I was asking, like, if we are taken, if you have taken site engineering as a career, I'm not just degrading any job, I'm just telling you the truth, what is the reality, right? So the initial salary for a fresher starts from 7 to 8,000 per month. It is very less. It is even very less than a mason. A mason used to get around 15 to 18,000, right? So that is something that you have to keep it in mind, that a good salary will not be there in the field job in the very beginning. Obviously it will be there if you have 5 to 10, 20 years of experience, it will be good, but in the initial, definitely it is not going to be very good if you are from tier 2 tier 3 college. Career growth, again the same thing. If you are started working in a company in a site engineering job, then it takes around 2 years 3 years to get promoted. Again the same thing, higher studies, because in site engineering most of the branches are saturated as of now, because obviously there are a lot of people who are trying their harder and harder to, survive in this particular industry. So the complete domains are getting saturated these days. So that is why I have decided another job, like, which is office job. Let's say office job. In office job we have a work life balance. Mostly you have to work for 9 or 10 hours per day, not more than that. If you are going to work more than 9 or 10 hours, or more than the office working hours, you are going to get overtime. Okay, if you are doing an office job, there must be a good salary. Not, I'm not talking about like 50,000, 30, 50, 70,000. I'm not talking about that. Let me be very clear to you, that good salary means salary better than the field job and other jobs which are there in the civil engineering industry. It's basically that you are going to have a good salary if you're doing office job, definitely better than the site in the initial days. And then career growth, when you are doing an office job, you are going to get promotions in 6 months, in 1 year. Like, there will not be something like 2 year 5 year you are going to get promotions. If you are doing good, if you are performing well, you are going to get career growth very fastly. Okay, then learning, again I told you in the field job that all the studies, all those masters program are getting saturated when you are talking about field job, because those are conventional things. Previously people were working on that, all those are traditional domain of civil engineering. Now here comes the digital domain of civil engineering. All those office jobs are somewhere related to that only. So there are a lot of other domains, a lot of other subjects that needs to be discovered, that needs to be researched. So there are a lot of opportunities for you if you're doing somewhere around office jobs or something like that. So you are going to have a lot of opportunities in higher studies as well. I hope you got all those points, like why should you choose field and office job. Let's understand about the digital technology, which why we are here in this particular webinar. So digital technology, as I told you, you need to be digital. Okay. So to survive in this particular industry, in the civil engineering and AEC industry, you need to be very digital. Okay. You need to be very updated every day. So in 2021, BIM has been on the very trending list, like on the top. If we are talking about the AEC industry, then BIM is on the top. And in terms of career opportunities, in terms of job, in 2021. Why? One of the reason is COVID-19. Why? Because in COVID-19, everyone lost their job, but BIM professional were someone who who were able to retain their job, whatever they were doing before 2019 or 2020. They are still working in the same company. Why? Because they are able to work from home. They have the opportunity, they have the skill that digitalize them, and they are able to work from their home. If you are a site engineer, if you are working on the field, then you are not going to have a work from home opportunity, right? So this is a reality. I'm not degrading any of the domain. I'm not trying to degrade any of the domain. I'm also a civil engineer. I know everything, but I'm just telling you that you should take the feedbacks. You should focus whenever you're choosing a career. You should focus on the positive things as well. The more positive it is, the more it is better for you in the long run. Okay. So one more thing I want to tell you that if you have attended previous session of mine, then you must know that India is on level 1 BIM usage, because every country is having some standards of telling at which level. There are 3 levels: level 0, level 1, level 2, and level 3 is still under processing. So India is on level 1 and other countries are on level 2. So you can see the scope, right? And the 10 to India is around 10 to 20 years back as compared to other countries like US, UK, Europe and Germany, all those things. So India is around 10 to 20 years back as compared to other countries. So you can see the scope of learning, scope of opportunities, the career opportunities, growth opportunities. So there are a lot of opportunities that you can pursue, that you can just grasp by learning BIM and starting your career in BIM. So let's understand a little about BIM as well. What is BIM? If you are not very familiar with BIM and what exactly BIM is, because there is also a lot of misconception around the market, around the industry, to the freshers obviously, or to the newly graduates, that what exactly BIM is. They generally say that BIM is a software, but actually it's not. Let's understand what BIM is. So actually, BIM is a process. Just focus on my words as of now. Don't focus on these particular slides. Just focus on my words, whatever I am going to tell you. So BIM, what is BIM? Let's understand from this image. Let's understand from this image. So there are 2 images, okay? One is on the left side. The left side is the real construction, which is on the real site, okay? Actual building on the real site. And the right one is the virtual building in a computer environment or a virtual environment. Okay. Is there any problem in am I audible to everyone? Just a minute. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry if you if you didn't. Okay. No, someone was asking like I'm not audible. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Please mute yourself. Thank you. Okay, so let's understand what exactly BIM is. So there are 2 images, if you didn't hear me out. So there are 2 images here. One is on the left side, which is a actual construction on the real world, and on the right, yes, on the right side there is a virtual building. They're the same building in a virtual environment, okay, in a computer environment. So let's understand what exactly BIM is. So BIM is a process of AEC industry. AEC stands for architecture, engineering and construction industry. So BIM is a process of AEC industry in which we create a before constructing the actual building, we create a virtual building. Yeah. Before creating the actual building, before constructing the actual building, we create a virtual building in a virtual environment, and then we check everything, if everything is fine in that particular virtual model or not. Is there is any clash? Is there is any coordination problem? Is there is any column which is poking inside a beam or poking inside a window, something like that? Is there is any issue in that particular model? Once we are done with every checking, once we have made sure that everything is right in that particular model, then what we will do, we will extract information from that particular model in terms of quantity estimation, in terms of DUQ, in terms of documentation, which is plan, section, elevation and detailed drawings, and that information we will use on the site to construct the actual building. So you understand the complete process? It's basically a complete process of AEC industry in which we will create a 3D intelligent model, and then we will extract information from the 3D intelligent model, put on the site and create or construct the actual building. So this is a very basic and in very layman language I am telling you कि पहले एक 3D मॉडल बनाते हैं, वो 3D मॉडल में से इंफॉर्मेशन निकालते हैं, वो इंफॉर्मेशन को साइट पे यूज करते हैं और एक्चुअल बिल्डिंग बनाते हैं. So this is one of the phase of BIM. Okay. BIM is not a software, not at all. BIM is not a software. Just make sure after this particular session, you should not say BIM is a software. BIM is not a software. BIM is a process of AEC industry in which we use couple of software to create 3D intelligent model and create such kind of information which can be used on site. So BIM is not a software. BIM is a process of AEC industry. Okay. So now let's understand why BIM. So I'll not be just bugging around. I'll just tell you the exact facts that are being from one of the reputed articles and reputed institutes. So what it is telling, like it's been mentioned in The Hindu, like India is expected to have a population of 1.4 billion by 2025. In the next 4 years, India is going to be going to surpass China in terms of population. So you can understand that there will be a requirement of housing, there will be requirement of infrastructure, roads, transport facilities, and buildings and everything, right? So if we have all these requirements, then how we are going to complete all those things? So there is a requirement, there is an opportunity of doing everything, like constructing everything within that 4 years. So let's understand here few things. What are the advantages of BIM? So when we are doing, these are facts, these are complete facts. Even if you can also check all these facts on India BIM Association page as well, which is India's one of the institute of BIM. So what it says, like after implementing BIM, you can reduce the complete life cycle up to 50%. Means that if a complete project is taking like complete life cycle of the project, means starting from the very initiation to the demolition. So complete time, complete cost. For example, if it is taking 100 crores, then if we are implementing BIM, we can even complete that project in 50 crores as well. So there are also some other advantages, like greenhouse gas emission will be reduced up to 50% if we'll use BIM. It will be reduced, the overall time of the project will be reduced by 50% as well if we are implementing BIM. So there is a usage, there is a very, very important aspect of BIM, that why the industry wants us to learn BIM, wants us to implement BIM in the industry. Okay. So by considering these particular points, so Autodesk is telling us, like this thing I told you, that in India is going to be 1.4 billion populated country by 2025. So Autodesk is telling us that India will not be able to complete all those requirements by 2025. Then you should use BIM as a process to complete all those things. So you can understand in the next 4 years how many opportunities in BIM, how many growth in BIM is going to happen in India. By 2025, it is mostly it might happen that India is going to be a BIM mandate country. So you can understand the requirement, that why it is important. Let's check some other facts as well. Like after implementing BIM, like what are the percentage of BIM implementation in 2013? You can see in 2 years what is the difference. In 2013, Germany was using 37%. Some other countries were using, Ireland and all these countries, UK is using 28%. And now within just 2 years, they have shifted from 37 to 72, 39 to 71, 28 to 66%. So you can see if it will be mandate in India, then how it is going to grow. So there is a requirement. So you can understand all those things. You should learn all these things, right? There are some other facts as well, like Autodesk Revit is one of the mostly used software, like the BIM softwares used in the Indian construction professional. So this is also one of the requirement. You can understand like which software you should use as a BIM modeling tool. So these were the requirement, these were the fact that I wanted to share with you all. And now let's understand, as you all are students, as you all want to grow in this particular industry, you are going to grow in this particular industry, then why you should choose BIM as a student. So let me tell you all those reasons, and rest, if you have any question, definitely you can ask at the end of this particular session. I'll be taking all those questions. The first thing, white collar job. if you're doing BIM, like if you're doing a job which is using BIM, then definitely you're going to work in an office and you will have a white collar job. Then again, quality of life, as I told you in the very beginning of this particular session, you will have a quality of life. You are going to work around like 10 hours or 8 hours. Sometimes it can be even 7 hours as well. So it varies around, like mostly it will be less than the site or less than the field job. So you have a quality of life. High paying from initial career, as I told you, it is not like you are going to get lakhs of rupees, but as compared to other careers, other opportunities of civil engineering, other domains of civil engineering, you are going to get a higher pay as compared to those. Advanced and vast career options, the same thing as I told you, you will have a lot of opportunities of advancing your careers and learning a lot of things and growing in your career, doing masters, PhD if you want, if you are someone who is research based person, so you can understand all those things, right? So these are the very important points that you should take care whenever you are choosing BIM, and you can understand by these particular topics that why it is important to choose BIM. And let me tell you the career as well, like because most of the students are very fond of knowing what are the things that they are going to do in the next 1 to 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. So these are the things that how you can choose your career after. So how you can be a BIM intern? Just after completing a BIM course, you can directly go to a company and start your internship there. So that can be a after completing a BIM course. Then you can be a junior BIM modeler as well after doing an internship or after doing a BIM course. If you are really good, if you have learned all those things professionally, then definitely you're going to start from BIM, junior BIM modeler as well. Then after 6 months to 1 year, you can be a BIM modeler as well. After 1 to 2 years, you can be a BIM architect, BIM engineer as well, or even a BIM designer, like facade designer as well. And the next position is BIM coordinator. After 2 to 3 years, you can be a BIM coordinator. Even after 4 to 6 years, you can be a BIM manager. You know, the salary of a BIM manager varies from 1 lakh rupees. So within 4 to 6 years, you can even start earning like lakhs of rupees per month as well if you have good skills and you start putting efforts on learning things, right? It all depends, like as I just mentioned over, like all growth depends on your effort, skill, and performance. So the more you are like putting effort, the more you are learning skills, the more you are performing well, the less will be the year to grow more, right? So the more you will put on a lot of efforts, you are going to get a lot of things. You are going to get promoted in the year by year. You're going to like achieve all those things, right? So you can see all those roadmap, like how you can achieve different things, and within just 5 years you can be a BIM manager as well if you put really good effort, right? So as I told you, like it is not just like it just not like 6 months or 1 year task. It might take time. It will take time, definitely. You directly don't jump from 0 to 100. You go from 1 2 3 4 5 6 and then 99 and 100, right? So you will be going through a phase, but definitely the growth will be more as compared to other domains, right? So most important thing is that you should choose something meaningful, what is required and how you should pursue all those things. That is something which is very important. Then again, as I told you, after it is not constrained, the BIM is not constrained to BIM engineer or BIM modeler or just like BIM manager or BIM coordinator. You can also be a designer. You can be a facade designer. You can be a computational designer. If you are good in coding, if you are good in visual programming, then you can be a very good computational designer as well. You can be a good landscape designer as well if you are good in the architectural elements, if you are good in creating natural environments. There is a very good opportunity which is going to be booming in AEC industry is AR and VR specialist, because as I told you, digitalization is very important. So in the next few years, AR VR is also going to boom in AEC and BIM industry. So you can also be a AR VR specialist. You can also be a 4D 5D specialist as well. 4D means like the time and cost estimation. You can be a specialist of that particular domain as well. So there are a lot of things, as I told you, like once you start your career in this particular thing, then there will be a like set of things that you can pursue. You just have to make sure that whatever you are doing, that in that particular thing you have to put efforts and good performance, basically that. So we understood like why we should choose BIM, what are the facts and what are the real world scenario that is actually applying on the BIM. And now let's discuss where BIM, like where it is used. Basically wherever there is a construction, from medium scale to large scale. In a small scale it is not happening in India, but from medium scale to large scale it is going to happen. Like wherever there is a construction there will be a BIM, because BIM is a process, and wherever there is a construction process or the architectural engineering or construction process is happening, there will be a BIM. So residential projects are there, commercial projects are there, airport, harbor, road infrastructure, redevelopment projects, dams, bridges, natural like man-made resources, like man-made environments. Everything can be done using BIM. So wherever these kind of construction is happening, BIM will be there. So you can see the scope overall: civil engineering industry, architecture industry. You can be a contractor, and you can put on contractor industry as well. The construction industry, everything is there in the BIM, because it is a process. So how BIM, like how you can start in BIM, because as a student it is very important to know. We understood the like why it is important. Now let's understand that how you can start learning BIM. So basically there are few steps which are very general steps that should be followed to start your career, to kick start your career in BIM. The very first thing is learn construction process and life cycle. Basically that, like whatever is happening, how a construction starts. Basically if I'll talk about the construction of a residential building or a building, then there will be a substructure, means the foundation and the whatever it can be, isolated footing, then mat foundation or whatever it can be, the substructure, then plinth, then superstructure. So basically how we construct, what are the sequence of doing construction that you should know. The very basic information of all those things should be known to you. So very first step is this. The next step is learn software professionally. As we know that BIM is all about BIM starts from 3D modeling itself, the 3D intelligent modeling, right? So to do the 3D intelligent modeling, we need to have a proper skill sets in doing all those modeling stuffs, right? So we should be very good in softwares, like the BIM modeling softwares or BIM authoring software, BIM content creation software, or you can say coordination software. But you should learn it professionally. Why I'm telling you? Because मेरे पास कुछ स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं, लाइक दे यूज टू टेल मी लाइक सर आई नो रेविट, हाउ कैन आई गेट जॉब. Then I just said them, I used to tell them that if you know it professionally, then you are going to get a job. Otherwise, you are not going to get a job, because just creating four wall door windows is not something which is called BIM, right? So you should learn it professionally with good standards, which is actually applying in the industry. So learn the construction process first, then learn the software professionally so that you can put some value to the company wherever you are going to work. Then practice as much as you can. Once you are done with the practicing, do some internship so that you will have some hands on whatever you are doing, whatever is happening in the industry, how you should work in a company, what are the organization culture which is happening in a organization. So all those things you will be able to get in a company by doing a internship. Then what you can do after doing internship, you can directly go to a company and tell them, okay, I know all these things, I know all these professional software thing, I know what BIM is. You can just tell them that how you can put value to the company. Then definitely you're going to get a job or get an opportunity to have an interview. And if you crack the interview, if you know all the things pretty well, then you can crack the interview and get a job. And even if you don't want to do a job, you can also be a self-employed as well. You can do freelancing as well if you have a proper kind of a skill sets, right? So there are a lot of things that you can do by doing all those things, but you have to make sure you have to follow all these things to be a better professional in them. So after doing that, what are the software that you need to learn? So basically there are three kind of software which I generally say to the student or the fresher, because there is a lot of software which is there in the market, but you don't have to learn everything, because you are going to be specialized, right? Don't be generalized, right? Just focus on single thing at the time, and then once you are done with that thing, just focus on another thing. So as of now, just focus on three things, that is BIM modeling software, BIM coordination software, and visualization software. Three software that you need to learn, that is Revit architecture, structure, MEP, that can complete Revit, Autodesk Revit, and then there is a software which is Autodesk Naviswork for BIM coordination, and there is a software which is called Enscape for the visualization software. So these are the things that you need to learn as a software, but apart from that, you should also learn the standards, you should also learn the practices which is in the industry, ISO 19650, and other things which is there in the industry, like the BIM industry, to get started in that, right? So you should learn all these things, and after learning all these things, you can simply follow these steps and get started. Basically, this is the very important thing. It's not a rocket science. You just start all these things and you are good to go by all these things, right? And yes, one more thing I want to tell, like why I told you about all these things, like these three software. By considering all these things, whatever is happening in the industry, whatever is the requirement of the industry, requirement of a company, whether it is a MNC, whether it is a small scale company, large scale company, outsourcing company, they are having some requirement. So like what they want from a fresher, graduate, freshly graduate student, what are the requirement, what are the basic requirement of them is they should know all these things, they should know about software, they should know all those BIM terms professionally, not just for creating something meaningless, right? So considering all those things which is happening in the industry, we have created one of the course which is very curated course on BIM, which completes, which covers every particular topic which is important for a student or a graduate or a early starter to start their career in BIM. Like we have like covered all those architectural concepts, we have considered the structural and engineering concept, we have considered the complete BIM modeling. Like in the market it is there, the people are just selling their course and telling them we are doing Revit, but after completing that course, the student are not even able to create a complete residential building as well. It's not only about completing, like as I told you, it's not only about completing four walls, creating four wall, door, window, and all those things, and just doing a rendering images. That is not BIM. Although visualization is a part of it, but it is not BIM. Okay, so we have considered the complete BIM modeling using from very basic to advanced Revit modeling, and then design and documentation, which is important to extract all those information from the model. And then we have also considered visualization and rendering, लाइक कि आपने क्या बनाया हुआ है, मॉडल क्या किया हुआ है, और मॉडल करने के बाद में आपका बिल्डिंग कैसा दिख रहा है, अंदर में आप और इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग करके कैसे आपकी बिल्डिंग दिखेगी, वो सारी चीज़ें मीन्स रियलिस्टिक कैसे दिख सकता है आपकी जो कंप्लीट कंस्ट्रक्शन होने के बाद में, हाउ योर कंप्लीट बिल्डिंग इज गोइंग टू लुक लाइक. So that is something is included. And then 3D, 4D, 5D usage is also there, because this is something that the student should know, even though they are going to start from 3D when they start off as a fresh in an organization, but they should also know what is 4D, what is 5D, what is the usage of 4D, 5D, or what is the usage of coordination software in BIM. And lastly, we have considered the organizational culture as well. Like if a student just enters in a company, what are the things that they should know to survive in that particular company, and how they should know the hierarchy of different peoples, like to whom they are going to report, to whom they are going to tell their like day-to-day tasks, and to whom they should ask if they are having any issues or any problems, something like that. And lastly, we have also considered CV and portfolio creation, so that the student can showcase whatever they have learned to the employer, that these are the things that I know in BIM, and I am the best guy, I am the best girl to help you in your company, to add value in a company, and I will be the best asset for your company. So to showcase all those things, we have considered, so these are basically the subjects we have divided into. So these are the basic subjects, these are the basic points, but these are very advanced points which we are going to help you to start your career, to to help you be industry ready, basically. That if you are industry ready, if you know the proper skill sets, if you put efforts, if you do some best performance, then definitely if you apply somewhere, and you are going to crack that interview, or you're going to earn that particular job. It's basically that. So you should be ready with all those things. You should be ready with whatever is required in the industry first, and then just apply. You just don't randomly go to a company and tell them like, okay, I know Revit, can you give me some job? No, you should learn things systematically. What is required? If, for example, if I am a company who manufactures water bottles, plastic water bottles. So if you don't know how to create bottles, why should I hire you, right? So you should have a reason of that why the company are going to hire you. So you should learn all those things which is important in the industry, and then just go to the company and tell them all, okay, I have all these skills, can you hire me? Then definitely, if you are worth, you are going to get hired, right? So yeah, I think that was all about this particular session, and now it is the time for your question, because it's all about you all. Like whatever question you are having, just ask in the chat box. Now I'm going to take all those questions of all of you guys, and I will answer all those questions regarding anything, like whatever, if you have any confusion in this particular session, regarding the course which I just told you, regarding BIM, regarding anything with whatever I've told you in this particular session, you can just ask your question in the chat box. I'll just take few minutes, like couple of minutes, just write your question in the chat box, and then I'll take all those questions and answer all those questions, right? Meanwhile, let me have a drink of water. Okay, I'll just take 2 minutes, just write your question in the chat box. Thank you.
Sir, how many software you cover in it? Hello, sir.
Yes, can you write these questions? We will take the question from the chat box only, and then if it is required, then definitely I'm going to take you through the voice as well. But let's start from the chat first, and then if we have a lot of time, if we have a plenty of time, then definitely I'm going to take your question through voice as well, right? If that works for you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Okay, I'll start with the questions, and meanwhile, you can also write down your questions as well. And I'll start from the very beginning, and one by one, I'll take all those questions. Okay. So firstly, someone asked, BIM is a software. No, BIM is not a software. As I told you, BIM is a process of AC industry. And if you'll talk about software, let's talk about two things, BIM and Revit. So what is BIM? BIM is a process. And what is Revit? Revit is a tool in which like we create a BIM model. So basically, Revit is a software to achieve BIM as a process, because in BIM we used to create a BIM model, right? So basically, BIM is a process and Revit is a software. So BIM is a process. Then which software are using in BIM? There are plenty of softwares, but basically, if I talk about the market leader, then Autodesk Revit is the market leader, because as I just showed you the facts, as I just showed you the stats as well, like around 70-80% people are using Autodesk Revit for doing the BIM modeling and building information modeling. So that is something that you should pursue if you want. जॉब चांसेस कितना है? देखो, जॉब चांसेस डिपेंड करता है कि आप कितना एफर्ट लगाते हो, राइट? स्किल आप कहीं पे भी सीख लो, अगर आपको वो स्किल सेट्स प्रॉपरली नहीं आते हैं, अगर वो स्किल सेट्स आप प्रोफेशनल लेवल पे नहीं जानते हो, तो जॉब के चांसेस जीरो भी हैं. अगर आपको स्किल सेट्स आते हैं तो जॉब के चांसेस 100% भी है, राइट? इट ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन योर एफर्ट्स, इट ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन योर परफॉर्मेंस, और आप कितना सीखना चाहते हो और आप कितना अच्छा परफॉर्म करते हो, कितना अच्छा प्रोफेशनल लेवल पे आपको चीजें आती हैं. दैट इज समथिंग विच इज गोइंग टू मैटर अलॉट, राइट? सो जॉब के चांसेस डिपेंड करते हैं आपके ऊपर और आप कैसे ट्रेनिंग ले रहे हो उसके ऊपर. What are the companies hiring for fresher? See, as I told you, like firstly start with learning all those things, then start with an internship. Don't just directly go to a company and tell them. If you are not very comfortable, if you are not very confident that you are not going to get a job, then start with an internship, and after doing the internship you are going to get hired by some company, or even you can be hired by the same company as well. If you have spent around 3 months or 6 months in a company, then why they should lose a chance of not hiring you as an employee? So companies are there, a lot of outsourcing companies are there, a lot of small scale companies are also there. You can just simply type in Google that what are the like BIM companies near me. You will get plenty of companies which are hiring all these days. Facade designer is assumed to be an architect. I think a civil engineer can step into facade designer, as you said. I have worked as a facade designer. I'm a civil engineer, so you can take that as an example. So facade designer can be anyone. They can be mechanical engineer, they can be a civil engineer as well. Basically it's just that you need to have that particular skill set, that particular standard knowledge. If you know the standards, if you know how to create the facade designs, then definitely you can start in that as well. I'm not talking of the architect will not create the engineering thing, right? The mullions, the panels, those has to be designed by an engineer only. The architect will give you the design only, like how it is going to look like. But the facade designer or facade engineer is going to give you an engineering solution. Okay, so there is a difference between the architect and engineer. Sir, what is the scope in infrastructure works? See, in Revit as well, in BIM, I'm talking about, if I'll talk about, there is a lot of scope in infrastructure. As I told you, the stats I told you, right? The fact I told you, there is a lot of scope of infrastructure works in India and other countries as well. So in Revit as well, in BIM, we used to do all those infrastructure road projects as well. Repeat this name of same software. Okay. 6 months के job के बाद job मिल जाएगी क्या sir? Regarding this, I think Biswajit sir will tell you, right? Biswajit sir, you are there. Okay, he'll respond. So iska regarding this course and regarding this fees, definitely you are going to get at the end of this particular session. I'll make sure. Clash detection is basically फॉर एग्जाम्पल कि कोई एक आर्किटेक्चरल वॉल बनी हुई है, वो आर्किटेक्चरल वॉल के ऊपर में कोई स्ट्रक्चरल वॉल बना दिया, मतलब एक ही जगह पे आप दो वॉल नहीं बनाओगे ना। तो कई बार क्या होता है कि आर्किटेक्ट ने एक वॉल बना दी है, उसी जगह पे एक स्ट्रक्चरल इंजीनियर ने भी वॉल बना दी, सो देयर विल बी अ क्लैश बिटवीन टू एलिमेंट्स, सो दैट इज समथिंग विच इज कॉल्ड एज क्लैश डिटेक्शन. So if we find out that issue, that is something which is called as clash detection. Okay, so that is being done in Navis work. Okay, any placement from here, all these okay, let me just ask. Just a minute, let me just stop sharing my screen first, then I'll see. From operations team, can I hear from you? Okay, am I audible to each and everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you. So let me take the questions. Okay, yeah, regarding okay, I just saw that regarding all those courses and the batches, everything is there, is mentioned. Biswajit sir has just put in there, like we have launched a 6 months course, placement linked course in BIM online, evening batch it is, which is starting from 11th of October. And regarding any information or brochure, you can definitely go to protrainy.com/BIM, or even you can call on the number which is given on the chat. You can call on that particular number for any queries of the course. So you can definitely just hop on all those things, right? Let's take some other questions as well. Where is it? Okay, a lot of questions are there. Yes. So it is offline course or online course? It is completely online course. You can just take it from your home. You just need a laptop, you just need a good internet, and you're good to go. Do ETAB and SAP come under BIM? So see, the complete process, there is a usage of structural as well, right? Structural analysis. It is a part of BIM, but it doesn't comes under the building information modeling because it is an analysis software. So these comes under the part of it, but using that we don't do building information modeling, right? What is the minimum salary for a fresher who have learned BIM? It depends. Like, okay, let me tell you a range. If you have learned, can all of you please mute yourself? I am having some issues. Okay, thank you. So what is the minimum salary for a fresher who have learned BIM? It depends. Like if I'll give you an average salary, then you can start from let me tell you about like 15,000. You can also learn 15 like earn 15,000. You can also earn 22,000. Even I have seen some freshers who have even earned 22 or 25,000 as well in the beginning. It depends on your performance, it depends on your skill sets, but somewhere around you can take 15,000 as your average salary, which is more than the site engineer or something like that. So that is something that you can keep in, but again I will say it depends on your performance and your skill set, that how you perform in the interview, how you perform in the test which is being conducted from the company. Okay, so you mentioned that BIM can be used in road infrastructure. Can you elaborate more? Let's take Revit as an example. Okay, so in Revit you can also create roads as well, because in Revit you have different options of creating layers. Because in layer we have different options. We have different layers in a road, right? Like grade, subgrade, and all those things are there in a road, right? So all those things can be achieved in Revit as well. Why it is used in Revit? Because in Revit it is very easier to do the quantity takeoff. It is easier to do their scheduling or costing estimation as well. So that can be done in Revit or in other softwares as well. So that is why BIM can be used in infrastructure projects as well. Then as civil engineering student, what is the importance of BIM in your career? BIM, as I told you, it is used for the AEC industry, architecture, engineering, and construction industry. So if it is the engineering and construction industry, then you can understand that civil engineer is related to what. So there is importance of BIM in your career. If you learn all those things, you are going to be far away. Like if you will be far forward as compared to other people who don't learn BIM. BIM and Revit are same or different? It's completely different. It's like very different. As I told you, BIM is a process and Revit is a software. BIM coordinator is a job profile. Yes, it is a job profile. If you have spent around 2 years and you are performing well in a company, then you are going to be a BIM coordinator after a BIM engineer if you want. Or you can also be what you are going to do as a BIM coordinator, you are going to coordinate between different domains like the architecture or MEP or architecture or structure. You are going to do coordination part, the clash detection part. So that is the job role of BIM coordinator. I am a bridge design sector. Will this course help me in that field or just for buildings? It is for every particular industry. It can be anything. But if you want to be specialized in BIM design sector, then I would suggest you that this particular course, we have included the infrastructure part, we have included the building design as well, and the redevelopment as well. So I'll tell you that bridge design, specific bridge design, if we'll talk about, because this complete course is curated for students who want to start their career in BIM, and to be very they will be able to kickstart their career in BIM. So specific is not there. We want the student to be have that much knowledge, have proper knowledge in different fields as well, so that they can grasp. They can go to a outsourcing company as well. They can go to an architecture firm as well. They can go to a structural firm as well, BIM modeling firm as well. That's why we have curated this particular course like that only. So bridge design will not be there, to be specific.
Hello.
Yes.
जी सर, मैंने ही वो ब्रिज डिजाइन वाला क्वेश्चन किया था सर।
ओके
सर वो जो NHAI वगैरह है ना सर, और एयरपोर्ट अथॉरिटी, इन्होंने सारे ने PIM अडॉप्ट करना चालू कर दिया है। तो
Right.
मैं रेजिडेंट इंजीनियर था सर यहाँ पे मंगलम एसोसिएट्स में। उसके बाद तो मैं यही सोच रहा था कि इसके बाद अगर BIM का हमारे फील्ड में आना ही है, तो जहाँ जितने भी मैंने BIM के कोर्स देखे सर, सारे में वो बिल्डिंग स्पेसिफिक ही करा रहे हैं। तो
Right.
मुझे यही जानना था कि एक्चुअली क्या इसका यूज इसमें हो सकता है किसी तरह से?
इसका यूसेज हो सकता है, लाइक अगर आप बात करोगे ब्रिजेस का, तो लाइक वन ऑफ लाइक कपल ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स मैंने किए हुए हैं इसके ऊपर, ब्रिज डिजाइन के ऊपर में। ब्रिज डिजाइन का काम होता है, बट अब उसमें भी अलग अलग चीजें होती हैं। लाइक मेट्रो डिजाइन होता है, उसमें भी एलिवेटेड मेट्रो हो सकता है आपका, या फिर अंडरग्राउंड मेट्रो भी हो सकता है। तो इस टाइप के डिजाइन अभी चल रहे हैं, बट डिपेंड करता है आप किस कंट्री के प्रोजेक्ट्स करते हो। जैसे इंडिया में अभी नागपुर मेट्रो जो आपका चल रहा है, उसमें BIM का यूसेज हुआ है, बट उसमें भी 4D का यूसेज और 5D का यूसेज हो रहा है। उसमें 3D का यूसेज थोड़ा कम हुआ है अभी, बट धीरे धीरे ये लेवल अप हो रहा है। तो आपको ये सब चीजें, अगर दैट्स व्हाई आई टोल्ड यू कि अगर आपको स्पेसिफिक सिर्फ ब्रिज डिजाइन सेक्टर के लिए अगर आपको सीखना है, तो आई थिंक इट विल नॉट बी लाइक, क्योंकि एक 6 मंथ का कोर्स है, तो इसमें हमने हर चीज कंसिडर की हुई है। अगर आपको सिर्फ ब्रिज डिजाइन के लिए चीज चाहिए, तो आई थिंक आपको उसमें इशू होगा। दैट्स व्हाई आई सजेस्ट यू, राइट?
जी सर।
So which software are involved in BIM software? Again, someone said BIM software. BIM is not software. Just make sure BIM is the process. Any job assured institute from BIM? Some opportunities you might get after doing that, but it depends on your performance. If you are, because we have curated the course using some assessment as well. If you are performing well in that particular assessment, then definitely we will try our best to give you some chance in the company to have an interview. But it all depends on your performance, like how you perform in particular assessment test as well. Because it is a 6 month course, then definitely there will be a lot of assessment, so that you can grasp a lot and you can learn a lot as per the professional industry. Sir, how will BIM help in future about 20-30 years from now, as software industry is booming in India? The conventional civil engineering is fading out, and has the competition. See, it's not like civil engineering will get devastated or something like that. Civil engineering will be there, but there is a gradation. So we need to be evolved. We need to evolve ourselves, that what are the different things that we can do to make the civil engineering industry much better. So after 20 to 30 years, civil engineering, the basic, the conventional thing will be there, but there will be a lot of things which are coming up to help that conventional thing to be upgraded, right? So like coding and anything related to software, yes, definitely computational and coding are also there to automate the task which is helping the AEC industry. For example, if you're doing some task it takes around 30 hours, the same can be done in 10 minutes or 20 minutes by doing some coding as well. So in the future there will be usage of coding as well. So you can understand like how IT industry boomed in India. Similarly, it is going to boom in AEC in India as well. What type of projects in BIM company? Like I know Scan to BIM and CAD to BIM. Other than that, this is any other projects happening in the company? Which company you're talking about? There are a lot of things, like if it is architectural projects, structural projects, infrastructure projects, it can be road project, it can be any like villa high-rise building project, it can be there. It can be a Scan to BIM, CAD to BIM, PDF to BIM, IFC to BIM. A lot of methods are there. So it depends like in which company you are working and what kind of services that company provides. Okay. I'm in second year. I'm interested in BIM. You guide me. And question 2 is explain briefly the career slide. Okay. So basically it's like that. Like if you are in the second year, then you just started second year, then I would suggest you to just go through all these things, like what is BIM, how, like if you are really interested, because in second year, if you are really interested into BIM, then you start it. Like if all these things like fascinates you, then start it. Like grasping all those things, understanding and reading about BIM and civil engineering industry, how you can help it, what are the different things you can do, or coding if you are very passionate about coding as well. So you can learn all those things to start from there. It's training conducted online. It's completely online.
Yes, sir. That's my question only. So, how the coding will help in the civil industry, sir? Will you explain?
For example, if you are going to work in Revit, so after you are very well versed in Revit, like you are very good in Revit, okay, you are doing all those modeling and all those virtual construction in a very good manner. Then after learning all those things, there are plenty of tasks. For example, in a Revit model, I have to place 1,000 of column, okay, 1,000 number of columns. Then I have to click 1,000 times to create all those columns in Revit, right? But if you know coding, if you know like visual programming, that is called Dynamo. If you know that, by clicking just creating a visual program, by clicking once, you are going to get that 1,000 column within just 1 minute. So that is something, the usage of the coding, that is not exact coding, that is a visual programming, I would say. The use of Python, visual programming is there, so that is comes under the automation part of BIM. Okay.
सर इसमें सिविल 3D कवर होगा क्या?
नहीं, सिविल 3D कवर नहीं होगा इसमें। सिविल 3D देखो, सिविल 3D इज को हम बिम का पार्ट नहीं बोल सकते। सिविल 3D को इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट्स या फिर हम टोपोग्राफी या टोपो सरफेस क्रिएट करने के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि वो समवेयर एक ऑटोकैड की तरह ही है, बट ऑटोकैड का इंक्रीज्ड और अपग्रेडेड वर्जन है, एक तरीके से बोला जा सकता है उसको, राइट? तो उसका यूसेज नहीं है इसमें, बट उसकी ड्राइंग जो सिविल 3D की ड्राइंग्स होती हैं, उनका यूसेज हम रेविट के अंदर में बिम मॉडल्स या टोपोग्राफिक मॉडल क्रिएट करने के लिए यूज कर रहे हैं पर्टिकुलर कोर्स।
ओके सर।
सो ओके, mechanical engineering and work for scan to CAD conversion, can I go for BIM? Definitely you can go for BIM. If you are a mechanical engineer, then you can go for BIM and you can learn BIM, and then what you can do, you can learn MEP as well. All those things will be helpful for you. If you are a mechanical engineer, then MEP will help you, and even I know a lot of mechanical engineers who have started in the architecture and structure as well. So it depends on your skills. As of now, in this particular industry, as of now at that particular time, people are not focusing on the degree, they are focusing on the skills. If you know a skill related to architecture, it doesn't matter you are an electrical engineer or something, you are going to get that, right? So it depends on your skill sets, that what you know and how you can implement in that company.
Sir, just you said that coding, if you learn that it helps to the coding, okay. So which company will give me the job, sir? If I learn the Python coding?
Okay, then I'll give you one of the best company, that is a DI Roots. That is a very good company, and even there are a lot of companies like Pinnacle Infrastructure, like and BIM engineers. The BIM engineers is also there. Sweco is also there, and some other companies are also there who want someone who is having Dynamo knowledge. They can also get hired, but before getting into the automation part, you should be very aware of the BIM modeling part, because if you don't know the basic, if you don't know how different thing happens, different thing works in Revit, then you are not going to create that particular program in Dynamo, right? So you need to be very specific, you need to learn the basic first, then you should go into the automation part.
So we have to learn the Python also, then BIM.
No, see, for learning the automation, you can start from Dynamo. Dynamo doesn't needs like it doesn't mandate for you to learn Python, but if you know Python, then somewhere it will help you to understand the syntax, and it will help you to understand the programming knowledge. It's just for that, but for starting it's not important.
Will you once again you will tell the name of that company, Speco and Dios, you said that. Will you?
There's a company called Sweco, there's a company called The BIM Engineers, there's a company called Pinnacle Infrastructure, DI Roots, DIROOTS, DI Roots, something like. There's a lot of companies, they work in like automation, right? Then questions like, I have no any software in my laptop, how to practice without software? So to do that, there are a lot of things like if you have a Autodesk license, if you have Autodesk account on the Autodesk website, then definitely you can go for a Autodesk license, student license, and you can just have all those software downloaded in your computer and you can get started. Then you can install it in from, yeah, thanks. Okay, 6-month BIM program by Protrainy is, yeah. So you can have all those information from the chat itself. There are information regarding the course, information regarding like if you have any query, you can directly ask to the Protrainy team. They will be assisting you the best they can. अभी के metro project BIM base ही है. Yes, a lot of projects like in India, if I'll talk about Nagpur metro is there, then like Bangalore airport is also one of the terminal is using BIM to expand its one of the terminal, and couple of other projects are also there which are using BIM in India. Skill set is okay, but permission का problem होता है. Regarding what? I didn't got your question, Rahul Avasthe. If you can say, then I think we are done with our questions. Sir, what is the maximum number of students in one batch? It depends. Like you are going to get information regarding all these things from the Protrainy team. They are going to tell you regarding anything. You can just ask them on the number whichever they have shared with you all, and you can definitely go to the website as well to have a look on whatever question you are having. Okay, so I think we are done for today's session. National highway, okay, someone asked National Highway Mumbai to Nagpur is also, yes, that's why I told you there are a couple of not a lot of projects which are there in India which are using BIM, but there are a couple of like companies, there are a couple of projects which are happening using BIM technology, and in the coming years we are going to have a lot of other companies as well, other projects which are going to use BIM as their base, right? So I think and it will be under 30, like all those students, I guess. Yes, it will be under 30, all those student strength. So you can and if you have another question, you can definitely ask as well. And okay, one question as well. मेरे पास सिविल इंजीनियरिंग की डिग्री है और कोई सॉफ्टवेयर नहीं जानता हूँ, 4 साल हो गए बीटेक के, बिम करना सही रहेगा क्या? See, until you die, see, I'm just giving you a quote, until you die there is never late, right? You can start any time, like even if it is 4 years, it's completely fine. But in these 4 years, what you have done, even if you have done some preparation, even if you have done some site engineering job, it's completely fine. But just make sure if you are going to start, you are going to start as a fresh, right? You are going to start as an early graduate, you are going to start as a fresher, you're not going to start as a 4-year experienced person. So just make sure that, so all those salaries, all those growth will depend on that thing only.
चल ठीक है, भूपेन टैग लगेगा, एक बार पूछना पड़ेगा यार, वो कोचिंग में कहां फोटो कहां से देख कहां की.
Okay, I think we are done for today. And regarding the course, I would suggest you to take that course. I would suggest you to have a look on all those brochures and whatever I have shared you, whatever knowledge I have shared you, whatever information I have shared you with proper guidance in
Just
today's
one
session.
last question.
Feedback. Yes, ask me. Yes.
Yes, sir. Did the rendering also comes in BIM, sir? Like that Lumen V-Ray?
Visualization, yes, visualization comes under it, because what BIM is, like as I told you, like we also should be able to see how our building is going to look like after the construction, right? That comes under the visualization part. And if we are using that visualization part more into the realistic side, then yes, it comes under the rendering part as well. Okay.
Thank you,
So
sir. Thank you, sir.
yes, so I guess we are done for today, and all the best, all the best to each and every one of you. And I guess, yes, someone is telling again, hello, yeah. So I guess you all have learned a lot of things from this particular session, and all the best to your career. And I think you will choose something better, and you are the future of this particular country, and definitely we will do our best to help you grow, help you learn things better, right? So yeah, thank you each and every one of you, and for your patience, for your questions and everything, right? See you soon in another session if we'll have, and definitely we'll be in touch. Thank you everyone.